Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to the Pink Drink Link team call. My name is Laura Davis, for those of you who don't know me, and I am super excited to be hosting team call tonight to talk to you about something that I think is really appropriate for our team right now. In this season of Plexus, in this season of the year, and it goes along with a training that I have been doing for myself lately, and has been super awesome, and has sort of changed the way that I have been looking at Plexus. I have been with this company since May of 2015. So if you can imagine, the way we were doing things then, and the resources and the knowledge and the changes to now have drastically changed the way that we run our business. Some things have been like super powerful, some things haven't been as successful, but what I am learning through this training is really changing my entire mindset on how I want to pursue my business as a network marketer. And so I hope some of the stuff that I'll talk to you guys about tonight will give you that same sort of that same feeling of lighting a fire in you, and sort of what your passion and your path is with this business. So like I said earlier, I have a PowerPoint, and so I'm going to try and share my screen with you guys so that you can see. Let's see my PowerPoint. Okay, can you guys see that? Yes? Okay, cool, thanks. Thanks for the thumbs up, Gary. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about purpose-driven prospecting. And purpose-driven prospecting is a concept that was introduced to me through Bob Heilig and his Legacy Leadership Academy. I actually shared a video of his on the team page, I think the week before Thanksgiving. So some of this might sound familiar to you if you watched that video, but I want to go a little bit more in depth tonight about how you guys can use purpose-driven prospecting and sort of the steps that are recommended for success in prospecting. So I think this is really appropriate for us as a team right now, because we're wrapping up a year and we're starting a new year. And I always say this about myself: I am a fan of clean slates. Like, my family moves every 2 years. I like love to start fresh. I love to start new. So the beginning of a new year is really like exciting to me, and I like to think about new ways that I can approach 2018. And I know a lot of you are thinking about goals that you want to achieve in 2018, and maybe what your job outside of Plexus will look like in 2018. And it's a true statement to say that the holiday season from Thanksgiving to New Year's can be a tough one for growing your team. Those of us who have been in the business for a few years can tell you that there is a little bit of a noticeable slump during this time. And I can tell that this year, even since Thanksgiving, hasn't really been different. Obviously, we have some challenges with the website, but people start focusing on different things around the holiday season, spending time with family, spending time with friends, festivities. And then we are sort of sometimes can feel like we're taking a step back from our business because, we've been working so hard, and like we've got family obligations going on. But I don't want you guys to get discouraged if you feel like things are a little slow during the holidays. In fact, I think that what we're learning tonight can really help you focus this month of December in planting seeds so that January in 2018 will be a success for you. So everything you want to achieve in January and February of 2018 needs to be started, needs to be implemented. All those wins need to be implemented right now. So planting seeds all throughout December is really what our goal is. It could be a tough time for adding ambassadors. It can be a tough time for getting new customers, but it is a crucial time for planting seeds and starting and growing relationships, so that when January comes around and people realize that they've eaten too much or that they've spent too much and they need a fix for that, you're the person that they think about because you've been planting seeds with them. And if you feel like your typical method of reaching out isn't producing the results you want, I think that this purpose-driven prospecting is going to change the way that you think about your business, because I know it has for me. So what I am learning through my training with Bob is that I am really passionate about building a legacy business. So I am not just here to produce an income. I am here to make a change in the world, to make a change for my family, to make a change in the lives of others. And that is my why. And so, like we've been talking about a lot on Megan's call and on our team page lately, and what Darcy and Megan brought back from Jewel Training was, we focus on the why, on our why in everything we do. Every action we take and every decision that we make in our business should be determined by our why. So I want to encourage all of you that your why has some sort of a purpose, has some sort of a drive that really lights a fire in you, and that we should be building a business. And I know I want to be building a business that is more for purpose than it is for profit. And if people are seeing that this team, that Plexus is a group of men and women who are building a for-purpose business, we are going to stand out above all the other network marketing companies out there that are simply infomercials for profit. And I think really with all of your hearts, that's what you want to. So we talk so much about how our why drives us, and our why gets us over the humps, and our why will be, the thing that'll make us push through hard times. But I want you to understand too that your why in this business is what's going to draw people to you. Not your what, not what we have, not how we do it. We have gut health supplements. We have the best. We have the testing. That is not what's going to drive people to you. What's going to drive people to you is your heart, why you do this. And so that's what purpose-driven prospecting is. It's an entirely different way to go about network marketing, because people are going to understand from you that your end game is impact. It's leaving a legacy. It's not making money. It's not ranking up. I know for me, one of the hardest things I had to deal with when I first started this business was that I did not want to come across as a salesperson. And I bet every single person on this call has had that same feeling. I do not want to be pushy. I do not want to be salesy. I'm not a salesperson. And honestly, you shouldn't be, because that doesn't work. Because there are a million network marketers out there who are puking infomercials about their product, and that turns people off. But if we show them that our why is to change lives, is to leave a legacy with our business, then we are going to stand out amongst the rest. So what is purpose-driven prospecting? So like I said, this kind of prospecting is going to put your legacy or your impact as a priority instead of finances and rank. Okay. Now, part of your legacy and your impact might be financially or rank related, but that's not what's driving us. Okay. And when more people are willing to buy into why you do this versus what you do, this is what you're going to experience. You're not going to be fearful anymore about approaching people about this business opportunity. You're going to be proud to tell them about your legacy, about your why, and you're not going to feel salesy anymore, because it's going to be coming from your heart. You're also, like I said before, going to stand out amongst all other network marketers. You are going to make instant connections with the right people. So what do I mean by that? We reach out to all kinds of people. We reach out to everybody in our warm market, everybody in our cold market. We talk about Plexus all the time, but we all know that we are looking for a specific person to join our team, right? Somebody who has passion, somebody who has influence, somebody who has drive, who has a similar why to you, who has a great work ethic, and somebody that you really want to work with. If you're sharing from your heart, you are going to attract those like-minded people. Okay. You're not just going to be attracting anybody who comes across your way. You're going to be attracting the right people. And you're also, with this method, going to be able to approach people who have previously said no to you, because you're going to be approaching them in a whole nother way. So when you have a mission to impact people's lives, and when you tell people that that's your mission, it really does change everything. So how do we prospect this way? How do we do this purpose-driven prospecting? The first thing that this starts with is your why. So go back to that Essence of Plexus team call that Megan did about your why. Read Get Over Your Damn Self and start peeling back the layers of your why to get to the heart of what it is that is going to motivate you, and what it means for you to leave a legacy. What is your legacy? What do you hope to accomplish? Do you hope to help other people who are in the similar situation you were before you came across this business? First thing you need to do is develop that why. And some of you did that through that EOP challenge, and some of you need to do that. And what that might look like is sitting down and just sort of writing out on paper, why do I do this? And peeling back and peeling back and peeling back. So it's not just to make an extra $500 a month, but that extra $500 a month is going to help me pay for my bills. Why is that important? Because if I can pay for my bills, then I can give my family the life that they want. Well, why is it important to give your family the life that you want? Because I want to be a great role model for my kids. Well, why do I want to be a great role model for my kids? Keep peeling it back and peeling it back and peeling it back until you come to the heart of why you do this business. And that might be, I remember one of my sidelines was telling me she did that exercise and she had like a 4-page dissertation on what her why was. Now that wouldn't be appropriate to share with a potential because that would really be like way too much. So once you have developed your why, I want you to practice telling your why in 90 seconds. I want you to be able to condense the most important parts of your story into 90 seconds and write that down. Say it to yourself every morning, just like Megan suggests that we do. Practice saying it to yourself in the mirror. Practice saying it to your spouse. The more you say it, the more it will become second nature. The more you will also believe it. The more it will become ingrained in you. So it all starts with developing your why. Simon Sinek, is that his name, Darcy? Simon Sinek, the guy that does the TED Talk. He has an amazing TED Talk, if you can write down his name and go check that out, explaining how to dial into your why. It's awesome, and it's another really great tool for developing your why. So once you have created that why, and once you can condense it into a 90-second story, that's what you will start sharing with your prospects, and specifically your prospects who you want to bring in to this business opportunity. So when we're doing purpose-driven prospecting, we are trying to find like-minded people who really want this opportunity like we do. And sometimes it's really hard to share the opportunity. It's much easier to lead with the products and what they do and what they've done for us. It can be scary to lead with the opportunity, but this is going to take away that fear. So what should that 90-second story include? I want to help you do this because I want to break it down and make it really simple for you, okay? So when you are formulating that story from your bigger why, you may want to include things like what was lacking in your life before you found Plexus. What was lacking? Maybe talk about 1 or 2 things that was lacking. So for me, I was seriously financially stressed, and that was not allowing me to be a good mom or a good wife. It was kind of wreaking havoc on my home life, the financial stress. So I would maybe start out talking about that. Before I started this business, I was a hot mess when it came to finances. I was a bad mom because I couldn't focus on anything but paying the bills. And I was a bad wife because we were constantly arguing about finances. Then I want you to give a specific example about your turning point that made you look to this business. Was there a specific event? Was there a specific experience? Was there a breaking point? What was it that made you finally say, I need this business? I remember mine specifically. I was sitting down at my computer to pay bills, and I looked at my bank account and there was $0 in it. And the first thing that came to mind was, Megan's been reaching out to me about a business opportunity. I need to look into it. I have no other choice. And that was my turning point. And then I want you to think about how that experience, how that turning point, how that breaking point made you feel. What emotions did you have? Emotions are what make people create decisions in their brain. Okay, so emotions and feelings will connect to your prospect's decision-making area of the brain. People don't make decisions based on like clinical studies. Some people do, but not all people do. Most people make decisions based on how they feel. How does that clinical study make me feel? It's not the clinical study that they are making a decision on. It's how does that make me feel? Oh, that makes me feel safe. These products work. You know, that's what influences decision. It's their feeling. It's not the numbers. It's not the ingredients. Okay. And then once you have sort of explained your story, you want to talk about how your business provided a solution to what was lacking in your life before. So starting my business gave me the freedom from X, Y, and Z, gave me the ability to X, Y, and Z, gave me the ability to sit down the following month and actually pay my bills without crying. Don't say Plexus gave me the opportunity, just this business opportunity did. Keep it generic. They know you're selling Plexus, but if you just don't say Plexus over and over and over and over, make this a story from the heart. Make this a story about you, not about Plexus, okay? And then I want you to wrap it up with the specific contribution and impact that you're looking to make. Tie this back into your why, tie this back into your mission. I really don't want another one of my friends or any of my friends to be a stressed out mom and wife because they can't provide for their family. And I am able to do that through Plexus. And that's your story. And that's your why. And you can do it in 90 seconds. And let me tell you that your friends are listening to this why, and they're not thinking like, oh my gosh, this made an impact on Laura's life. They are thinking, oh my gosh, Plexus could help me solve my problems too. So they're hearing your why and they're internalizing it as theirs. Okay. And no, they may not have the same why as you every time, but they are going to see the passion and the emotion and the change that this company has done for you. And they're going to think, how could this impact my life? And they may not even know that they're thinking it, but they will. So how do you use this why when you're reaching out to prospects? I loved that Bob shared this with us because, you know, you could come up with your why and you can come up with your story and you can have it down pat. And whether you're emailing somebody, messaging them on Facebook or calling them, which we all know calling is has the best results, but sometimes can be the most nerve-wracking. There are a couple different ways that you can use this verbiage. You can either go the direct approach or the indirect approach. Now, I'm not going to lie, the indirect approach is like my comfort zone, okay? Because especially after 2.5 years, I've really reached out to most of my warm market, and I've gotten a lot of no's. Okay. But if you are new to this business, if you are still getting through your list of 100, still getting through your warm market initially, you can use this direct approach and just tell them, I'd really love to share with you why I started my business in the first place. I know you've seen my posts on Facebook, but I've really never had the chance to tell you why I do this. It may or may not be for you, but would you be open to letting me tell you my why, telling you why I do this business? If it sounds interesting to you, great. Then if not, that's totally fine as well. So tell them, you want to explain to them your why, and it might not be something that they're interested in, but it might be interesting to you. And what you're doing, we call this permission marketing. So you're asking them permission to start sharing with them. If this is a friend, a family member, you know, they're going to say, sure, share your story with me. I'm not asking you to like watch a video or come to an event or try a sample or anything. Just, would you just listen to my story? Do me a quick favor, listen to my story. If you've been doing this for a while, or if you want to reach out to somebody again who has told you no, the indirect approach can be really great. And like I said, this is something that I've been using a lot lately. Just saying, I know that you've told me before you aren't interested in my business, but I want to ask you a huge favor. I've never had the opportunity to tell you why I started my business. Would you give me that opportunity? I'm really looking to expand my business, and I want to see if you know anyone, or if anyone comes to mind who anyone comes to your mind that might benefit from this after hearing my story. I'm looking for a certain type of person, and maybe if I share my story with you, you might know that type of person. Would you be open to it? It would really help. So you could tell, you know, maybe not with these exact words, but you can tell you're still asking somebody if they would help you out. Do me a favor. Would you do me a favor? Just listen to this and see if you know anybody. I know it's not for you. And when you tell them their story, your story, it might actually be for them. It might be the thing that resonates with them. So using this verbiage to introduce your why, introduce your 90-second story is a great way to get it out there. You're asking permission, and then you're sharing your why with them. So you've gotten permission. You shared your why. What's the next step? Asking them, following up and saying, did any of that resonate with you? Maybe that's how you wrap up your why. If they're interested in hearing more after they've heard your why, that is great. But if they have more questions, if they want to talk more, if they have things that they want to dive into, you are not going to be the person that tells them the answers to all the rest of their questions. The next step is going to be introducing what we are referring to as a third-party tool. So if somebody says, your why was so great, how do I get started? Or what would that mean for me? Or what's the compensation plan like? You will say to them, let me send you a video, or let me send you a product sample, and that will help you explain your question, or give you a taste test, or whatever, and pass it on to a third-party tool. And then you just finish up the conversation casually and chatting with them. You have done your job. You have shared your why. And because your why is about impact and mission, when you pass on that third-party tool, they're going to interpret it in a completely different light. They're not going to see it as a sales tool. They're not going to see it as like, oh my gosh, will you just watch this video and tell me what you think? They're going to see it as, man, this really impacted Laura's life this way. And they're going to hear that video, or they're going to taste that sample in a whole different way. Okay. So what can we use for third-party tools? I would suggest for our specific company, either sending a sample or sending a video. Now, you kind of have to read your prospect and what is going to work best for them. But if you're going to send them a sample because they want to taste, what does it taste like? Or I don't know how it will work with my body, or blah, blah, blah. I would recommend sending them like a 3-day sample and a handwritten note. People love a handwritten note. It goes along with that personal connection, that relationship that you are building with them. Because again, we say this all the time, but it's a relationship business. In that handwritten note, you want to give them instructions on how to take the slim, but set expectations low. Don't make them think that they're going to see instant results in 3 days. Just let them know that this is kind of a taste test. And remember that you have to be the one that follows up with them to make sure that they got your samples and that they tried it, and that you're moving on from there. Okay. Now, if a video would be, if they have lots of questions about the compensation plan, or you know, how the business works, or what you would do to get involved, sending a video might be a better third-party tool. And there are tons of great videos out there. And Darcy and I constantly are going back and forth about what's the best video to send new prospects. Should we send like a Plexus video? Should we send one from some of the amazing Diamond ambassadors or Emerald ambassadors that we have out there? And we have played with a lot. And in fact, prepping for this call, she and I were actually like messaging, like, what's your favorite video? I don't know. What about this one? What about this one? And we came across this video, and I think we both agree that this video just is a great mix of heart and information. And Jennifer Pickett, who's a Jewel ambassador, has this video, Why I Became a Plexus Ambassador, My Story. And this is the link to it, but I can also post the link below in the recording of this video. And I think it is a great third-party tool. So you don't have to think about it. If somebody wants more information, send them this video. And I think that that would be a great next step. So your why resonated with them. Your video or sample went over well. This person will probably still need more. Not everybody. Some people might jump in right there, but some people will need more. And your next step after that should be adding them to a three-way chat with your sponsor. Do it on Facebook Messenger, this three-way chat. We love three-way calls in Plexus. It's like our favorite thing. But three-way calls with potential can be intimidating, and it can actually be hard to get them to commit to. But a three-way text on Facebook is a lot less intimidating for a new prospect. So if they still have more information, just add them to a three-way message. Mary, this is my sponsor, Laura. She was also a working mom of two when she started Plexus, and I thought it would be good for you to hear her story as well. And she might have answers to your questions that I don't have because she's been doing this longer than me. You then should sit back and listen and let your sponsor take the wheel. Your sponsor will have a different story than you. Your sponsor is another person who has belief in the product that isn't you. And your sponsor can help lead them to action, meaning help them decide to join your team. Now, if you are somebody's sponsor and you get put into this three-way call, it's your job to listen to that prospect or this three-way message. It's your job to listen to this prospect, to answer their questions, and to always be coming back to find out more. What do they want? What are they looking for? What's going to drive them? Because the more you can think about somebody's heart and speak to their heart, the more of a connection and a relationship you will build, and they will feel more connected to this team as an entire body. Okay? So now that we have learned this method of purpose-driven prospecting, you have a why. You have a clear and concise story to tell everyone. You have the means and the methods to follow up with a third-party tool and third-party validation. Now I want you guys to put this method to work, okay? For the next 30 days, for the entire month of December, I want you guys to make a commitment to share your why in this form of prospecting with as many people as possible. Understand that this is the conversation that might get people to look at your opportunity differently than they ever have before. I want you guys to contact everyone, okay? Everyone in your warm market, your cold market, customers, people that you've talked into the past, people who have ignored you, people who have told you no, okay? This opportunity to use this type of prospecting lets you completely wipe your slate clean, press the mental reset button, and start new with people who you have not talked to like this ever before, because it is a totally different way of talking about our business. And with this little challenge that I want you guys to undertake for December, and not just I want you to undertake, this is a challenge that I myself am undertaking in December, because I know how important it is for us to be planting seeds in December. We are going to have a plan for the rest of the month with our team calls. So instead of having a new training topic every month in December, I really want our team calls to be more of like accountability calls, to be getting back together and saying, this is how many people I reached out with my purpose-driven prospecting, and this is how it went. These were my wins. These were my challenges. And I want that for us as a team, because I want us to be able to help each other out. I want us to be able to give suggestions, not just me because I'm taking this training, or Darcy because, we run this team together, but I want all of us. We all come from different places in our business, and we've all had different experiences with different people. And I think if we can give each other tips and suggestions on how to improve our prospecting, it's going to be a win for everybody. I'm constantly learning from other people, and I love that so much about this business. So not only will we be sharing our wins every week, but we're also going to ask one of you to share your 90-second story with us on the call. This may seem a little intimidating, but if you're doing it with all your prospects as we go through the month, it should become like old hat to you to tell this story. If you're really working on it and practicing it, you should be great at telling it, okay? And of course, this is a safe place. We all love each other in this team, and we are so supportive of one another. And so telling your story, whether it brings tears to your eyes or whether, it just elicits laughter in our entire team, like that is good for our souls. It's so good for our hearts, and it's good for our connection as a team. So I know that always hearing the stories of my team members just fuels my fire even more, and gives me more of a story to share with potentials. So that being said, that's the way the rest of December is going to go with our team calls. But we are going to help each other stay accountable with these reach outs too by having daily power hours. Every day, I think we decided Sunday through Friday, right? Isn't that what we decided, Darcy? Sunday through Friday. We're going to have, we're going to have one of the leaders on this team hosting a power hour, and it's going to be the same time every Sunday, same time every Monday, same time every Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. And we will make that calendar and share it with you on the team page. But basically, these power hours are a time for us all to hop onto a Zoom together and just do work and focus on prospecting for an hour. And I know that these really hold me accountable because I'm like, oh, everybody's doing work. I want to get on and I want to see your faces and I want to see how productive I can be. And if I'm on a Zoom call, I can't be doing laundry when I should be prospecting. I can't be making my bed when I should be prospecting. I have to be prospecting in front of this computer while they're looking at my face. And it really is so good for me. So we're going to have them at different times of the day, some during the day, some at night, some that are great for East Coast, some that are great for West Coast. We'll vary it so that everybody can hop on. But I'm super excited about these power hours. Did we do them leading up to Leaders Retreat?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to quickly add was if you can't hop on our power hours, like let's say Sunday time doesn't work for you, or there's certain times that don't work for you, reach out to the people in your downline, put them in a 3-way thread and say, let's do a power hour sometime this week together, a couple times this week, when you don't have, you know what I mean? Like if it doesn't work, your times don't work for us, find a group of people you want to hold each other accountable and make your own power hours. But the accountability is the most important part of them.
Agreed, Darcy. That's super important. What we did when Darcy and I were looking at these times for power hours, like Darcy said, this is a time of day when I work, so I'll host a power hour. And I said, this is a time of day when I work, so I'll host a power hour. So this isn't anything that I'm going out of my way to do, but I think it's so much more fun. I'm such a blue personality anyway. I want to do stuff with other people all the time. And so I think this is a fun way to do our work. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second. And I know I kind of chatted for a while, but that's my MO. But I do want to open it up to some questions if you guys have any. Like I said, I'll share the PowerPoint. I'm happy to do that. But if there's anything specifically that you guys want to go over, I'm happy to answer any questions. What do you guys think about this type of prospecting? Is this something that you're doing currently, or do you feel like this sort of changes up your the way you might be doing some of your reach outs?
I'm super excited about it. Super excited. I feel like it works better with the way I want to be doing things. And I have had some hesitation because of not wanting to be pushy, not wanting to be, in your face about it, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work for people, it works for a select few. But I've been really, really, really focusing on my why a year in, and figuring that I need to redo my why anyway, because it's totally changed. And I feel like telling my same old story a year ago is like boring and not going to reach people. And so now it's come to me at the perfect time because I'm right there ready to change my why and like put it out there. So I'm excited.
Awesome. That's awesome, Katrina. I sort of feel the same way. You know, I feel like I was finding myself in a rut with reaching out to people. Like, what do I say now? Who do I reach out to? I just was feeling really ruddy. And this like sort of was like, okay, this is a new way we can do it. And it's a better way than what we were doing. I think,
Right.
I mean, don't you guys feel like sharing from your heart? Like that's what we're all here for. And some of you, I mean, I watch your posts and I just think, you know, so many of you already speak from your heart on your posts, and we are learning so much. And we've always said this, right? Like puking plexus never works. Like nobody wants to hear this. But when you straight up ask somebody to listen to your why instead of, have you heard of plexus? It just changes the way that they respond to you. It's so much more heartfelt. And I love it. I love it.
So I have a question, Laura, like, how do I go back to people who I've reached out to and kind of asked like, hey, if you ever decide to do plexus, when they're like, no, thank you. And I'm like, well, if you ever decide, you know, to do it or try it, like, I would love to be your rep, or I would love, like, I don't know how to like bring it back up to people who have said no.
So I think that indirect approach is the way that we have to go with those people. And I think that that approach makes me feel so much more comfortable. You know, like I know you have said that it was not the right time for you with plexus. I know you have said that you do not want this business, that you are happy in your life. But would you do me a huge favor and listen? And because I've never been able to tell you exactly why it is that I do this business. And I know it's not for you, but it might be for somebody that you know. And maybe by listening to why I do this story, somebody will come to mind that could really benefit the way I have for my business. You know, put it back on like asking them a favor, not that you're reaching out to them again. And I know we've done that sort of in different ways before, where we've said like, this may not be for you, and that's okay. I mean, it's sort of that same thing. I know it's not for you. That's okay. But can you hear my story about why I do this? Because it's not like, will you watch this video? You know, like it's, will you hear my heart? That's what you're really asking them. So I think that that's, for me, that's the best way to approach it. Oh, Alicia, I know you're trying to.
Sorry, Laura, I told.
That's okay.
Oh, is it working?
No, it's working.
Okay, sorry. So Laura, I missed the beginning, but just from good follow-up question after, like when they say, yes, I'd love to listen to your why, like what would you send them after thoughts? Like what would you do?
So, yeah.
Or was that in the call? I can listen to the recording.
Yeah, no, it's great. But like, I'm encouraging you to sort of like formulate a 90-second story that is really powerful and emotional about your why, and sharing that with them. Yeah. That would be sort of the next step. So if they say, yes, I'm into hearing your why, then be like, great. And tell them your story. And in the slideshow.
On a phone call?
Phone call. Yep. A phone call will be a great way to say like, awesome. Can I call you? I'm free tomorrow at 2 or 4. Which time would be better for me to call and we can chat? I mean, that's great. Because honestly, we all know that when they can hear the passion in your voice, it speaks way louder than having it written in a PM. Any other questions?
I have one about the third-party validation with your upline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's a whole other call in itself, but do you have a call or a video that explains like how to ask questions and answer questions and really listen to them? I feel like I'm always asking the same questions and then they're like short one-word answers. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just keep asking more questions. Like,
so I think, you know, it's the way that you phrase your questions so that they can't give you short one-word answers. You know what I mean? Like making them open-ended or asking them a question back. Okay. You know, like, so really you know, Darcy tells me that your goals are, you know, to really try and not be teaching in the classroom anymore. Why, you know, how long have you been a teacher? You know, ask them about like what their passions are. Ask them these like open-ended questions so they have to answer you with a story. I think that that's really important. And again, like getting to know them and making them feel like they're, you are an additional resource for them. I mean, that's when I do three-way calls, when I do these three-way messages, I always try and let this person know that, you know, Darcy is an awesome resource for you, or Christine is an awesome resource for you, or Lawton is an awesome resource for you. But I just want to let you know that I'm always here for you too. You know, we work as a team and they're your first line of defense, but I'm always here for you if you need anything. And I think that that just makes people feel really welcome to the team.
Okay. Thank you.
But there are really great calls on YouTube too about, you know, three-way calls. And so you can search that as well. Anybody else have anything? Okay, I don't want to keep you too late because I know we've already gone pretty long, but I just want to say thanks to everybody for hopping on this call. I'm really excited to see how you guys can use this method in December and plant these seeds, you know, from the heart to set us up for a great 2018. I just know, I mean, you guys are amazing, and the things that you have shown us in 2017 have blown us away. So I just know that 2018 is going to be amazing for this team. And I think that with this type of lead up throughout December, it's just going to pop and explode all over the place in January and February. So I'm psyched for hearing your stories, hearing your wins, working through these challenges together, because honestly, you guys, this is a new way of prospecting for me too. You know, I've learned it. I've started it a little bit. I've seen how powerful it can be, but like this is brand new to me. So let's all work through this together so that we can help each other figure out how this works and watch it change our business. I'm going to stop recording now, but thanks for joining.